This is William T. Ramlall from Sip and Chat Intoxicated. Drink responsibly.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Intoxicated TheSipNChat Show, the online commercial-free podcast where we promote Guyanese talent alone and locally consumed beverages. Tonight we have a special guest in the house. Very talented guy. And I ain't gonna give him no introduction because he don't need that. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna introduce him and allow him to introduce himself to you. Welcome, William D. Ramlall. Welcome. William, what's happening?
Nothing much, buddy. Thanks.
You ready? You ready for this challenge? Or it's not a challenge to you?
It's not a challenge. Not much of a drink.
Anyways, it's traditional for us to take a shot because you know alcohol stimulates conversation. So it's traditional for us to take a shot before we get into any question. What's your preference? What you want? Brown one, white one? What would you like to take a shot of? Indecisive.
Couple of rum.
I ain't bring you on the show but drink out me favorite rum, you know.
What are you using? Coconut malt and buddy.
You
No, nothing else, buddy. Look good. But I guess I'm wine.
But we gotta take a shot.
No, but I know. What's the name of this?
It's some local wine where somebody present Porvicue beauty salon. I don't know where they get it from. It's some local wine. I drink a little bit and I like it, but I ain't a wine type. I just only drink wine like whenever I'm like writing. Like when I'm trying to get messed up. Coconut. Alright, William. I should call you William or should I call you Ramlall?
William.
Why William?
Hate Ramlall.
You hate Ramlall? Alright, I'm already perspiring. What we toasting to?
New friendship.
New friendship? Alright, good. New friendship. So, William, you know, I know for a fact that you're not a very popular person. I mean, you may be popular in arts and crafts community, but for everybody who don't know who William T. Ramlall is, you want to give them like a brief introduction about yourself?
Basically, I'm just the regular guy on the corner. You know, I don't go out much. I just do poetry for fun, and not only for fun, but it's therapeutic. And besides that, work, home, and that's about it.
And that's about it. That's all that you need people to know about William.
Well,
I think you need to take another shot, you know. Anyway, William. So I understand you was you was it?
Sorry. No, it's different when if you're describing yourself, you know.
Yeah. That's I just try to do it as quick as possible, like 3-4 words and that's it. Bam. You want to know anything? Ask me. So you was born and raised in Barbies, right? Tell us a little bit about growing up in Barbies, as some Guyanese would define as a countryside, little countryside.
Well, countryside is vastly different from GT life. It's slower. Of course, everybody's more knitted. It's closely knitted there, and they have very little to offer in terms of exposure. So what do you find that after certain years you start branching out, you start moving because it's very slow, and it's one routine over and over. So growing up in country, I got bored. I get very bored easily. So routine stuff. I'm spontaneous and I like to do things, impromptu. I'm always on the go.
So what school you went to? You grew up in New Amsterdam, right? What school you went to in New Amsterdam?
Tutorial Academy Secondary School.
Tutorial Academy. There's a tutorial in New Amsterdam also?
Yeah.
I went to Tutorial I, right there in Wolford Avenue. I never heard of a tutorial academy. Is it like a public school?
Yeah, it's
I don't mean to sound ignorant because,
No,
we tell people.
It is. Actually, I didn't know there was one in town too.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I actually went to it's right on Wolford, opposite Gandhi's cricket club, next to Crichlow Labour College. So.
Oh. Well, the tutorial I went to is in Stanleytown, Florida one, Stanleytown.
So tell us a little bit about your upbringing, after school, what you did and stuff like that.
Well, for starters...
Hold on. I don't mean to cut you, but, this is intoxicating. And whilst you're talking, you should be drinking. You haven't drank anything since you came on, except for the shot. So you could just take a shot and then you could continue talking.
For school life,
Yeah.
I dropped out of school at third form because
You
it
dropped
was,
out of school?
yeah.
You was forced to drop out, or you got expelled for
No,
being
I was
bad,
forced
right?
to
You
actually.
was forced to. Yeah.
At 14, I moved out on my own, started paying rent.
Wow.
So my life was difficult prior to that, very, very difficult prior to that. So I had no choice at that time but to drop out of school and start working. And I
Okay.
couldn't balance school and working because in country here, people expect you to, it's more difficult to get from point A to point B. So I had to choose between school and work and paying rent.
Okay.
And I chose paying rent because at the time I couldn't I couldn't have gone back to any family member or fall back on anybody. There was nobody at that time for me.
So did your parents die? What exactly happened that would have forced, at what age? 14 you said?
14.
Forced the 14-year-old to quit school and basically go on his own and to become a man.
My parents were separated when I was conceived, and my
like
mother.
like me, so that's like a norm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, after that, my mother, she left, and she went up into the creek. During that period, I was staying with my grandmother, and it was not to my likeness then.
Okay.
She was strict, yes, but I mean, there comes a point in time when a man says, "You got to do this, you got to do this,"
Yeah.
or when you think that you're becoming a man and you want to, exude that masculinity. So I assumed the role of a man at 14, and I went off on my own.
So how did you said you left at 14 to basically become a man. How did that affect your childhood, whereby getting a proper education is concerned? Did you ever went back to school, or that was it? How did that turn point of your life affected you?
For the period that for the period of that time when I dropped out of school, it affected me greatly because I was ignorant to a lot of things.
Yeah.
And of course, educational wise, I did went back to school. And I went back to school a few years later when I moved to town, which is about a couple of years after. I did a couple of odd-end jobs, and then I realized this ain't working out.
Yeah.
And the pay grade is very low. And I realized in town you could get a better job.
Yeah.
And you can make more money.
Yeah.
So I decided to not only move, but went back to school when I came to town. So this is my big break. Moving to town was my big break.
Okay.
That was something new, something fresh for me, out of the ordinary. That's basically about it affected my life greatly in terms of how I see things now. At that tender age, being responsible or being forced to be responsible, it teaches you responsibility early.
Yeah.
So family life, coming down to family life, and so it's helpful, it's meaningful. So I don't regret
we
it.
actually have so much in common. You don't even understand. We're like anonymous Siamese twins. Like, we both went to a school by the name of Tutorial High School. We both dropped out of school at 14. Well, actually, I got expelled from school in Farm 3, and I was
Farm Tree too.
yeah, I was a whole bunch of other things except somebody that was interested in school. We both basically had to become a man at a young age. So
So we share.
a lot of similarities, and it affected me in many ways. Like I would be like reminiscing on my school days and stuff, and I would be like wishing that I could get back those days. Like, the kids don't understand how important it is to just make full use of obtaining a sound education right now. Like, I wish I had went farther. I mean, after I migrated to America, I went back to college and stuff like this. So I basically made up, but secondary school days, like, I would do anything to get back those days.
There are some days I feel like that. Yeah, there are days when I feel like I should have just grabbed that CXC, grabbed the third farm education, go into fourth farm, then the CXC.
Okay, so you didn't write CXC?
I didn't write CXC.
So is there any kind of childhood experience that you would like to relive, or an experience that you wish that would have never happened in the first place? Is there anything like that? or was your childhood just something smooth that you really appreciate based on the fact that it has influenced the man you become today?
In one part, it has influenced the man I am today. In the other part, I wish I'd never lived those days or those nights. You know, but you cannot undo what was done.
That's a fact, yeah. It was
What you have to do is learn from whatever happened then, and you move forward, and it helps you to be a better man. My childhood was very dark. When I say very dark, emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, you name it, I went through it. And then, having to attempt suicide once, twice, and like probably like 4 times and not being successful.
Yeah, we have
I
so
probably
much.
did it
We
the
have so
wrong
much.
way, right?
We have so much in common.
But looking back at those days, I can tell you that I don't regret my past life for the fact that being a husband now, being a father,
Yes, which
I
we'll
am
get to later.
very thankful
Yeah.
for those experience, those childhood experience.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a shot, and then I'll ask you a question about the 2014 publication. I didn't actually get a chance to read it. I heard about it, but I didn't get a chance to read it. So you're gonna walk us through that and let us know what really influenced that entire story and that publication. So what you want to try now? The same coconut rum?
I could probably mix it up, try something else.
I like interracial dating, but the interracial drinking with mixing black with white and white with black, like it messes me up. So I'm gonna take a shot of my Guinness, and you could take a shot of whatever you want.
So I had coconut rum.
You had the coconut rum. What you want to do?
And I had wine.
And you had wine.
No, I think I'm gonna stick to my wine.
You ever tried the diamond rum punch?
No,
You should try
absolutely
that.
not.
This is really dope.
Well, let's go.
I should maybe take a shot of this though, because it's not too dark. It's not too dark. I'm gonna take a shot of this.
Honestly speaking, I've passed this thing 1,000 times in the supermarket. I'm like, what is this rum punch?
I drank it like about two episodes ago for the first time. No, I think it was when Jason was here. The first episode. It was 2 episodes, and it's good. It could pass.
So here's the similarities.
Similarities. So yeah, you wanna tell us a little bit. What do you think?
Tastes good.
Tastes good. So you're gonna buy one when
It's workable.
it's workable. So you wanna tell us a little bit about that 2014 publication that you had in Kaichor News and what really influenced that?
That article came about after I did a piece at Upscale called Black Woman. My wife is a black woman.
Interracial. Hey.
Yeah, so I did a piece on her. It's called Black Woman. And
Black woman.
Give
Give us the first 3 lines of that poem if you can remember it.
Black woman, I see you, beautiful, strong, intelligent, intellectual woman. I see not only your nakedness in your eyes, but I see your soul.
Enough. Listen, continue what you were saying about the publication.
Yeah. The thing about that poem though, it was basically about my wife, and the audience
You gotta shout out to your wife. Call her name and everything, man.
Rishon Ramlall. That's the woman of my heart. She holds a piece. Not only a piece, she holds my heart.
Okay.
Trust me, she holds my heart. And I wrote that piece for her, and the audience, they loved it. I guess probably every black woman loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And Kiana Wilberg.
You got the ladies in the salon going crazy, man. Oh, jeez.
Well, I'm a ladies guy.
Definitely, you're good with the words. So
Yeah,
you were saying Keanu Wilbert.
Yeah, she hit me up the same night, and she said she wanted to do a piece on me, and I agreed. And shortly after that, we made contact, and she did this wonderful. She interviewed me, and she did this wonderful article, which, by the way, it was mind blowing. I did mention that to her, but the article speaks about my upbringing, where I come from, and how I ended up doing poetry at Upscale.
Which we'll get to in a few questions on the road. But the first time I actually heard you was at OMG. And that night, I was so impressed with your piece. I think the poem that you did it lasted like about for 7 to 10 minutes, if I'm correct. And the name of the poem was Rape. You wanna just touch on that a little bit? Tell us where did that old concept came from, and was it something personal, or was it just being a creative writer?
First off, most of my pieces, they're not creative writing.
Okay.
They're basically experience.
Experience, okay.
Yeah. So rape was an experience for me. The only way to get it out of my system and to talk about it. Men don't talk about things.
That's a fact, yeah.
So what
Yeah,
I
really
did,
macho.
yeah, we assume this masculinity and we don't talk about anything. So for me, I had to get it out somewhere, and writing is very therapeutic. So I wrote rape based on my experience, and rape is very personal. It has tremendous impact in my life. It's something that I wish never happened, but then again it did, and I cannot do that. But it has given me guidance since,
Okay.
in terms of, like I say, with my kids.
Yeah, while I was at OMG that night, I was like, damn, this shit is deep. Like, I actually shed about 3 tears, and I was like, wow, beautiful women. And I was like, yo, J man, up here, kind of this girl still like, feeling emotional and thing. I was like, man up, J man. it was so touching, like, And do you like have you performed since at OMG?
OMG was my last performance, actually.
That was the last performance.
That was my last performance.
So, are you planning on performing anytime soon?
There is no venue available right now that I will be performing at, except I haven't followed OMG to see what their days were like. And
It's every last Wednesday in the
it's the
month.
same thing.
It's the same thing, so.
Yeah, I guess it has to do because of the time is where I live, and to get home transportation wise, the difficulty there is.
So take us back to that moment whereby William T. Ramlall was just sitting there and decided, you know what? I'm going to become a poet. I'm going to start writing poetry. When did that happen?
That happened.
What inspired that?
Actually, listening to Maya Angelou inspired.
Maya Angelou?
Yeah,
All right,
she
Peter Maya
inspired
Angelou.
that. She's one of my icons, along with William Shakespeare.
What is one of your favorite Maya Angelou quotes?
Be the rainbow in
Somebody else's color. I love that. That's we have so much in common. That's my favorite one, like being a rainbow. Yeah, I actually put up a status on my Facebook a couple weeks ago, like, who's gonna be the rainbow in my cloud? Like, and a lot of people who don't know that Maya Angelou actually said that, I'm just like, what is this guy talking about? That's my favorite quote.
I tell my daughters that a lot that each one of them, I said to them, you're the rainbow in that is cloud.
Yeah.
It has meaning for me. I can interpret it in
profound
so many
meanings.
ways.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you were saying in William Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare, for one of his.
Hold on. What is your favorite William Shakespeare quote?
All that glitters is not gold, from The Merchant of Venice.
One of my favorite one is just like the dust, I will rise. I think that was from one of the sonnets. I can't remember which sonnet it was, but that's from one of the sonnet pieces.
William Shakespeare's.
Still I rise, just like this, just like the dust. Still I'll rise. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. I can't recall the entire thing, but yeah, I did it. I learned a lot about William Shakespeare while I was in college. So you said Maya Angelou, William Shakespeare.
That's for the international. For the locally, it would have had to been Clinton Duncan, and for Clinton Duncan, it is his piece that he won the poetry slam with, and that is Labels.
Labels.
If you've heard it, it's phenomenal. Labels.
I could already just think about the words of that, because people see me with the dreads and the color dreads, and right away, like, the police would stop me and they would be like, "Oh, you smoking weed?" And I've never smoked anything in my life. I've never even smoked a paper. A lot of people find it difficult to believe because I have the dreads and but I've never smoked anything. Like, one time when I was in primary 2, I read this book about what smoking is do to your lungs.
You got scared.
And at such a young age, I was like, what? And I went to, like, my mom used to smoke, my aunts used to smoke. I was like, listen, if y'all don't quit smoking, I'm not eating anything from y'all. And for 3 days, I didn't eat anything. My mom quit smoking and my aunts.
Wow.
And I've never smoked anything, but guess what? I'm a big drinker. If you don't drink, you shall die from thirst. So Clinton Duncan.
Well, of course, this was the first miracle that Jesus did.
yeah. So you were saying Clinton Duncan.
Clinton Duncan
for the local scene.
And there's Lloyd Alicia.
Lloyd Alicia.
You might have heard
Afro.
of her. Yes,
Yeah,
lovely
super
young
dope. Yeah,
woman.
she was there that night at OMG also.
She did
She
an
was
insert.
promoting her book. No,
She did an insert from one of the women. I forgot.
no,
the
she
name.
she actually have a short story in a book that she was promoting that night. A group of girls came
Yes.
together and they published this book. So I actually have that book home. It's a
Oh.
really really dope book. You know,
Yeah.
Lydisha,
She's
super
awesome.
talented.
Yeah,
It's
she
supernatural. Shout out to Lydisha.
And
man.
Randy Critchlow, my guy Randy Critchlow.
Shout out to Lydisha, man.
Lloyda.
Lloyd,
There you go.
and Randy Critchlow.
And Randy, for this is we. You know, it's we thief telephone,
So-
telephone wire and turn to electricity wire. Something to that effect, but it was, this is a local piece that, very Creolese, but lovely.
So those are the people, the persons rather, that basically influence you to pick up that pen and that pad and begin writing. So what are some of your favorite types of poems to write? Like for me, you know, I write a lot. But right now I ain't writing because I'm drinking. So, you know, like, I like to write a lot about personal experience, and I like to do, another thing, my favorite thing to do is write stuff that kids can read. I'm obsessed with that because guess what? 10, 15 years down the line, when they get big and we get old, guess what's going to happen? I can still remember the first poem that I read when I was in primary, not even primary, in primary 1. It was by this guy called Robert Louis Stevenson. The name was The Swing. How would you like to go up in the swing, up in the air so blue? Oh, I think it's the most pleasantest thing ever a child can do. Do you know that
And you
one?
still remember that?
Exactly. This is what I'm telling you. Whenever you get the kids attention from small, trust me, they will grow up remembering you.
No. Indeed.
You know, so what are some of your favorite concepts? I mean, you said the rape poem was personal and stuff. What are some of your favorite concepts to write about?
The way I write is very different. I write based on feelings, on emotions. I write at 2 and 3 in the morning when everybody's asleep and it's quiet.
That's when creative comes alive.
That's how I write. And
Yeah,
the thing
that's
about
a
it is that I can't put it into context, but it's basically about life experience, personal experience. And I do develop thoughts, like very...
You're talking too much. You're not drinking.
Well, just the more drinking and less talking.
Less
then.
more drinking and less talking.
So I
yeah.
get intoxicated by the time
Yeah. So you write at
So
3 in the morning.
Yeah, 2 and 3 in the
3
morning.
yeah,
But
just
it doesn't
like
have a concept really. It's just based on how I feel at that particular time when I'm up. And that's how I write. Or what's bothering me then. That's how I write. Like I said, writing is very therapeutic for me. That's how I get it out there.
And the best way to get stuff out of your mind is to write it down. So as of today, today's what date? What day is today?
24th?
24th of January 2017. How much poems would you say that you have? How many documented poems?
About 200
About 200?
and over.
Wow.
This book actually has about 60 something.
About 60 something. We're gonna get to that just now. But as of now, we're gonna, we have the trademark cutters for the show that I heard you're a big fan of.
What?
And it's called the watermelon shots. We're gonna get that and we're gonna bite in and we're gonna continue talking about these amazing poems that you have written.
I saw this on the previous show and I'm like, shit.
You want
That's
to
I was even telling my wife, we never know watermelon shots get jealous.
And look at it,
in
so-
the watermelon,
so
in the skin itself.
Yep.
Imagine.
Man, listen, just go on YouTube and type in anything you want to learn. Anything you want to learn, just go on YouTube and type it in.
We do shots, but we actually set it in the trays.
In the trays, yeah, and
Yeah.
in the small.
It's actually in the flesh.
So, cheers.
Yeah, buddy. This is good.
Tell me what you think.
It's firm too. Very jiggly. This is good.
You gotta finish the entire thing because it's a shot. Before we get into the next question, you gotta finish the entire thing. It's a shot.
Whoever did this, good job.
Yes, I did it. We mean whoever did it.
Yes, you did it?
Come on, William. Come on. Yes, I did this. Boy,
You serious, buddy?
listen, go anything you want to learn, but do go on YouTube. And,
So you go on YouTube and do this?
yeah, but I go on YouTube and look at Tipsy Bartender. I don't really hear.
You sound like me waving that body. It's on YouTube.
Look, everything that I learned about graphic designing and how to use Photoshop and Final Cut and everything is what I learned on YouTube. You see, all my books, I design all the covers and everything based on what I learned on YouTube.
I got a diploma in graphics.
Really?
CorelDRAW, Photoshop, Adobe Dreamweaver.
Okay,
Computer
so
world administration.
if people want to get a flyer done, a book cover or something, they can contact you.
No, I don't do stuff for people because I don't have the necessary I don't have the programs right now.
You don't have
The updated
Photoshop?
programs. No, I don't have the programs right now. But
I can give you Photoshop. It's the easiest thing to get. Okay, so we're gonna just go off track a little bit, you know. What we, on every episode, what we try to do is ask our guests at least one question about some issues that may be affecting us in a negative way, whereby society is concerned. Oh, this is already getting to me.
So
I'll you
Go ahead. Go ahead, sorry.
no, you're the guest.
I'll tell you what. When it comes to social issues, one of the things that affects me the most, and I'm pretty sure that affects a whole lot of people, that people are just afraid to talk about it, is domestic violence.
That's what I was exactly. We are so much alike.
That's my things are like.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
They ain't call it intoxicated for nothing.
What is your take, right, on the way Guyana, we as a people deal with domestic violence, whereby bringing awareness to it is concerned and providing solution? What is your take on that?
It sucks.
It sucks.
The fact is that there is so much more that can be done, but it just takes the right people to get it out there. The help and shelter can do a whole lot more than just meeting. I mean, the people, they're doing a good job now, but they can do better, with recommendations and all these things. And I realized the hotline was up last week because I tested it actually, and it worked. So one of the things, domestic violence is very prevalent. Whether or not we admit it, it happens.
Yeah, definitely.
It's there.
It's there.
It's lying beneath all those beautiful makeup you see. Beneath those eyelashes.
Whether it's verbally or physically.
It lies there. The physical aspect of it is more predominant to me.
Yeah.
And people tend to cover it up very, very easily. They don't see it as a major issue, but it is. For spousal abuse to it, they see it as, hey, this is regular part of marriage or, part of living home. And it might not affect them as much as it affects the children in the home. But the people who have to see that. And that's what's sickening. And the fact is that they're not educated on their rights, and they're afraid because the police don't do what they're supposed to do. Just last week, my friend was out with acid. She was a very beautiful. I mean, if you see she body, the girl like she come out of magazine body. She beautiful.
Like she Photoshop.
Yeah, like she photo, like it just design she.
You gotta be careful, because remember you're a married man. You can't be saying those things about women and then you got your wife at home and your kids, but be careful.
No, my wife.
Or your wife knows something.
My wife knows me. Yeah, she knows me. She knows me. I'm a good guy.
You're a good guy.
Yeah, she knows me.
So you would say.
Yeah. So this girl, what I was most disappointed with is that she keeps reporting to the station, to the police station. That she's being harassed, she's being molested, she's being abused.
Yeah.
And nothing was done. There was no outreach. I mean, the people at the station, I don't think that they would have, at the police station, there weren't enough help, for her. So she moved back to New Amsterdam, and then the guy go all the way to New Amsterdam, and he doused her with acid.
Oh,
and then tells her...
I actually saw that in the media. Yeah.
Right, and then he tells her, if I can't get you, nobody else can get you.
Do you know that person personally?
I know the girl personally. We're good friends.
Wow.
We actually grew up together. We went to the same church.
I actually saw that, and it was so sad. It was heartrending.
That ripped me up inside.
So what do you think we as a nation, we as a people need to do to prevent stuff like that from happening?
I think we need to bring more awareness And there need to be more systems put in place to deal severely with those type of threats, because as long as a man is making threat, believe you me, one day he'll make good of them. They'll become reality.
So this guy was making threats.
He was making threats all along. And the fact is that I don't think that girl had enough help.
Okay.
And she had the only other place to turn to, which is back to home.
Back
and that's
home, yeah.
free, that's open out. There was no sort of protection. You know. So it was, he could have easily gone and you know, did what he had to do. I think what lacks basically in society is counseling.
Here in Guyana.
And people don't believe in guys. People don't believe in counseling, guys. People believe when you go to counseling, you're talking your business.
Man, look at the kid now. Can nobody stop me? I don't got a single sober